to the LEC post-game lobby, live from Malmö. I am joined by Comp, Trymbi, and Rekkles after an unbelievable series from this bot lane. Crazy. We were just talking about it, Comp, how there was so much going for Fnatic. They had their lower bracket run. All the analysts predicted them to win. So it was a surprise for us, but it seemingly was not a surprise for you guys that you were so good today.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, to be fair, like Fnatic has been playing pretty good the last weeks, even before this lower bracket run. They were actually playing very good in scrims, so it was actually like one of our toughest opponents alongside Zito. So yeah, I mean, I actually thought it was going to be a bit harder, but I think in the end it was like pretty good game by us, to be honest. But they still played on a decent level.
They did, but I think you guys just played better, seemingly, Trymbi. Being in front of this crowd and having all that pressure on your shoulders, how do you feel you did? What kind of points would you give yourself today?
I mean, this series, just playing here was absolutely amazing. I mean, I was obviously stressing out very much before the game, but then before the game, we went to set up ourselves, and I don't know, I just felt it, like, this arena is really insane, and I just enjoyed every single moment, honestly.
It looked like it. What's pretty cool here is that we have Rekkles as well, and he was looking a lot at the bot lane, right? So, Rekkles, how have they subverted your expectations?
I think the biggest surprise for me was how well you guys diffused the whole Fnatic diving, Fnatic early game, Fnatic level 1 invading, because if I think back to the series, I think you got dove once in the last game, and you had maybe 1 or 2 ganks in total in 4 games where you died. Other than that, you almost always managed to avoid that whole scenario, and I think that was one of the biggest strengths that they had going into the series, which just didn't take place at all.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, Trymbi, you want to react to that?
No, I completely agree. I think first game was a little bit rough from us, even though I still think we played well. They were just doing some stuff better during that game, but after game 1, I just felt like we are always in the driver's seat, and we always knew what they would like to do, so we are pretty much prepared for everything.
You guys didn't really hear probably the analyst desk before, but a big talking point was the consensus, I'm not going to put Rekkles on the spot, that if it came down to the handshakes, Sivir versus Zeri, Lucianami versus Zeri Lulu, the edge would go to Fnatic, unfortunately. But seemingly that wasn't the case. So you must have also done something well in terms of specifically the ADC role, both in lane and in teamfights, right, Comp?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like, I think if you don't include game 1, where I think they actually played really well, and I think, honestly, I think we adapted very well because of the Sylas angle that Fnatic has, like the whole series, the whole like lower bracket run and stuff. I think bot lane matchups were pretty chill. I was actually surprised we got so much Lucianami. I think it's actually one of the most oppressive picks right now. And the thing I find really weird, at least, is when I watch LPL, like Lucian's there always play first strike. But here in EU, no one does it, and I actually don't know why. Like I'm actually remember even versus Mad or like watching Fnatic series, they are perma playing PTA, and I think it's so useless. So please play first strike.
Rekkles, do you agree?
Yeah, and I think in game 2 specifically, at some point, it was around 18 minutes, you started getting really aggressive, you're looking for the gale forces, and at that point, it just felt like the whole game turned into you dashing forward, getting the poke down, and the fight starting that way. And I think something going into the series was actually you guys not doing so well in team fights, and that's why I thought before the games that if it would get to that point, you would have troubles. But actually looking at the games now, I feel like you won most of the games from the team fight, so that's something you really improved on going into this series.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, what I really like about Lucianami is how much you can play on limits at some point mid-game when you especially have the fire cannon. You can, like, in every wave, I'm like, I say to all my teammates, just look at me, guys, I might like do something stupid. But to be fair, like I was feeling so confident in game 2 because I was perma like poking them and playing at limits, and it was really working out. And then the Orianna incident happened, and like I was actually wondering how the fuck did I die this game. And then after the game, they tell me there is like an invisible ball thing, you know, and I completely forgot about this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
you could have
I really like this play style. I think I will actually never stop playing like this because I just think it's the best way to play, right? Even if sometimes it looks like high risk, high reward play.
Yeah, I think especially on a stage like this as well, being able to do what you did that game and actually step up and make the plays is the correct way. Like even if you get the 1 death or the 2 death, you still made 8 or 9 positive plays, so that evens everything out in the end anyway.
Yeah, and Trymbi, it feels like you're pretty comfortable doing whatever. We've talked about this before, right? You can play Engage or you know, tanks in the bot lane, the likes of your Leona or your Nautilus. You can play Soraka, apparently. We'd want to ask about that specifically because the silence just undid everything that Fnatic could do, it seemed like, but you still got to time it all correctly, right?
Yeah, I guess I can play anything, right?
Yeah.
In a sense that Freddy basically trusts me with whatever I'm gonna pick, so I just let him think through what's the best draft, and I would just tell him what are the best matchups that I can get. And yeah, for instance, the game when I played Soraka, we didn't really plan to play her, right? I kind of just thought about it during the stage, because it was not that easy out there.
Well, we thought there was nothing left, actually, right, Rekkles?
Yeah, I think in game 2 it was hard for you to find a good pick because you're playing against a Sivir, so any melee champion would be tough. So you were kind of forced onto the Enchanter. But actually thinking about Rogue from Spring especially, I think you were one of the few teams that were playing Enchanters and were playing this sort of bot-centric style. So now that that actually is meta, I think you're that's showing that you have that experience and that you're really used to playing this way, because you can pull out the Soraka, you can pull out the Lucian Nami, and it looks good all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I was really happy to play due to the fact that even though I think Healy is a great player, I just feel like when it comes to Enchanters matchups, I'm a bit better right now, and I always felt really strong about it. So yeah, I mean, I loved the fact that I could pull off like a champ that's Soraka. I mean, I wanted to play something else, but we were first picking Lucian all the time, so I can't really pick anything with that one. But yeah, I hope that tomorrow there's gonna be also angles to play some not weird stuff, but something that you don't usually see, and I think it's quite strong.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later as well. But food chain, right? Your support, you just got to pick what's left, unfortunately. We are going to get a look in, or an interview rather, with Yamato, I believe, with Lore, so let's check in.
Thank you, Sharks. Yamato, I'm sorry the journey ends like this for you guys today, and thank you for taking the time to talk to me after this series. The casters were saying that this is an upset. This is not what was expected from this series. Can you talk me through your preparation for the series against Rogue and your understanding of the team?
I think generally...
all good, all good.
Hello.
Yeah.
I think Rogue today definitely played very, very well. I think they improved from their last series against G2. I think the matchup was very different, so Rogue definitely had an opportunity to show very different sides of themselves. I think on our preparation, Malrang is a dangerous jungler that you have to play very specifically against, and we didn't manage to pin him down early. We had a lot of issues with the Rift Herald as well. I think in terms of the list of the things that we can improve and potentially do better is very long today, but just respect to Rogue, I think they played very well and capitalized on a lot of our mistakes.
Of course. But after such a strong game 1, we thought the series would be much different, and going in Fnatic's way, what didn't work for you guys? I know that in PGL they were talking about how Rogue dismantled the whole diving and early game from Fnatic. What do you identify as the mistakes you made, or what you failed to adapt on?
I think our fight selection and how to view some of the fights that we needed to take, we approached wrong, I think, in a lot of cases too. They had some tricky drafts that allowed them to be in a death ball, and it was tough for us to crack that. It's not something that we used to. Usually we are the death ball, and I think that definitely put them in some good positions. I think there was a lot of minor mistakes that mattered so much when the comps were so balanced in terms of how they would scale, and it was just hard to bring anything back because we didn't have opportunities to do anything on side with our champs. We didn't have opportunities to do anything crazy in team fights either. I think generally speaking, most of the time there was some minor mistakes that put the lead in Rogue's hands, and they didn't do anything to throw it away.
Given the reflective answers that you gave me around what went wrong, I'm super confident when I hear that in your ability to bounce back and get better for Worlds, because the next time we'll see you would be at Worlds, play-ins, unfortunately, which is not what you expected, I believe. But how much do you think the team can grow from this series to be ready for Worlds and come even stronger?
I think first and foremost we need to take some time off. These wounds are very fresh, and I don't even know what I'm saying about us and what we need to improve on, if it's true, because I need to look at it again and analyze it, because now many thoughts are racing through my head. Of course, in my mind, I was ready to win it all. It didn't happen this time around, so I'll just take some time off. The boys too, they deserve some rest. They worked very hard to get to this point, and we will reflect and we will make sure that we become stronger out of this, just like anything else.
Rest and come back stronger, of course. We want the best version of Fnatic at Worlds. How hyped are you about bringing this roster to Worlds?
I'm excited, like, considering some of the positions we were in the split, you know, we had a very rough time. If I zoom out, you know, there was, we were at one point not going to playoffs, and we were one Gragas barrel away of getting 3-0'd. Like, we could have lost right there, and I wouldn't be standing here today. So I have things to be grateful for, but right now all I can see is red. I feel a bit of pain. You know, in Sweden, I felt like this is going to be the one, you know. And my parents being here, my family being here, I thought everything aligned, you know, the stars aligned, but more will come.
Anything you would like to say before I'll let you go, of course? Anything you want to say to the audience, actually, your home crowd?
I'm sorry that we couldn't make it to all the Fnatic fans, you know. I'm sure there's a lot of Fnatic fans in the crowd that supported us through and through. I appreciate all of you very, very much. I hope you guys can still enjoy the finals tomorrow, because I'm assuming you guys bought tickets to that too. So I'm hoping that we didn't spoil your plans. I hope that you guys can still enjoy the show and keep supporting us coming into the World Championship. I also want to give a special shout out to my family that came out here, my father, my brother, my mother, and of course my girlfriend. Thank you very much. And finally to the team. The staff, the players have worked insanely hard to get to this point. We didn't bring the result that we wanted to today, but I can say that I'm proud with what we've accomplished, and we will become stronger out of this. So thank you.
Thank you for the support, Malmö, but thank you also, Yamato. The international journey begins for you, and I'm so much looking forward to seeing you guys at Worlds. Wish you the best of luck in the rest of the year, and thank you for joining me today. Sharks, back to you.
Thank you very much, Laura. Always great to hear from Yamato, and also awesome that he was willing to say a few words. We will be looking forward to Worlds. We can talk about it later, but of course Rogue is now locked into the group stage of Worlds because they made it to the top 2, which is great. First off, though, the Kia player of the series, Comp, with 36% of the votes. That is incredibly close.
Thank you so much.
Super close, actually. I think this is one of the closest votes, but it was with Odo and Larsen who were also in the vote. You wanted to say something. Did you want to congratulate Comp?
No, I think everyone deserved MVP, and honestly, Comp had I mean, he had a bit of the hardest job to do stuff, so it's completely understandable that he got it.
Rekkles, do you think it's deserved?
I think it's definitely deserved, especially looking at the task you had ahead of yourself today, playing up against the so-called best bottling we have here in Europe, and all of the eggs that put in that basket now with the level 1 invades and the ganking and the diving. So the fact that you guys actually came out ahead of that is really impressive.
I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
So with that and that great performance, it actually creates a wonderful kicking off point for tomorrow. Let's first take a look at the bracket, because Rogue is now officially top 2 of LEC Summer in playoffs. They've got the grand finals to play tomorrow versus G2, which of course is a matchup we have seen already. The hope, the expectation is that we're going to see another Rogue, Trymbi. We've also heard that G2 is going to pick blue side for the first game. So tell me, what do you expect for tomorrow?
I mean, I don't think they will change the way they drafted. Yeah, I guess they're G2 fans, right?
Yeah.
You can't get away from them, but...
But there were Fnatic fans today too, just saying.
Yeah, but those already left, I think. I mean, when I would say, that's beautiful actually.
It is.
But when it comes to our series, I think we just need to play with it today and maybe a little bit better. And I can guarantee you the series tomorrow will be just a banger.
Yeah.
I don't know who will win, but I just want it to be a really good series.
We want it to be a banger, right? How different do you feel ahead of tomorrow's match versus G2 compared to when you faced them last?
Okay, so I've been asked a lot of times about the specific team, what are my expectations. So what I will say is, I can guarantee you that it's not going to be an easy match, and especially this team, they want to win so much, right? So I hope it's a banger, but what I can promise you is that I'm actually lifting the trophy tomorrow.
Nice. You also said earlier in the season, you were asked about this a lot of times, you were also asked a lot about kind of Rogue's track record, unfortunately with not being able to lift the trophy, and you said something along the lines of, I want to do it for them, you know, I want to do it for the boys. So how much extra motivation is that for tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, the motivation is still the same. And I mean, I can also say that, let's say, we have an advantage because we also played here today, right?
Yes.
So we actually already have the experience. So yeah, I mean, I'm just looking forward for a really good match tomorrow.
Okay, I'm not going to keep you too long. There's one thing I still want to bring up for tomorrow, and I know you can't say anything, of course. But of course, Rekkles, we chatted about the possible matchup already. So what are your thoughts specifically about bot lane?
I think it's going to be really important for Rogue to be compact in their game tomorrow, because G2 has a lot of individual stars in their team, and they can shine in so many ways. So if you, by any means, falter in not being compact, I think they can just get a huge lead top or get a huge lead bot. So the most important thing for Rogue is just going to be compact and make sure that everyone's involved in every play and no one's left alone. And then for G2, obviously, just to have their stars shine. They have so many of them. They can carry from every role. So it's going to be a tough game. But I think a win like today is good for you guys, because then you come in with a bit of momentum. You played really well today as well. So I think it should be a better game than last time.
And I already saw a lot of Rogue shirts today, but the Fnatic fans, they can't cheer for G2. So they're going to have to cheer for you, Trymbi.
I mean, I think they should watch the video that was last time in spring, right? The one that you talked about. And I hope this one will make them at least have a little bit feelings for us, and we were going to be able to match the G2 fans, but it's completely up to them, right?
It is completely up to them indeed. I think we're going to let you go because you have indeed a lot to play for. I'm going to take a PGL selfie. Let's see how this is going to work. 1 second. Do you want to talk a little bit whilst I get my phone out? Because I can't hold both.
Hey, Rekkles, I almost did the pentakill in Sweden for you today, but Otto stole the penta.
You can do it tomorrow.
Actually, I can do it tomorrow. I still have a chance.
He was calling in the comms about Penta. It was so annoying.
Bro, I was calling about pentakill since the first kill.
No, it's fine.
You guys can keep going. This is great. All right. What a fun PGL selfie. Amazing.
Thank you.
So for us, we're done. But in the LCS, we've got, of course, there are games live from Chicago. And currently, 100 Thieves is up to bat as well. And Evil Geniuses Inspired is also playing Trymbi. So what do you think is going to happen? Did you not hear?
Sorry, when?
Inspired's playing in the LCS.
Oh.
Is he going to win?
I hope so. I mean, he was my teammate, and he's Polish. And
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is MVP also?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Both LEC and LCS. So I hope he's going to put a good show, but we'll see how it goes.
We'll see what happens